Hey guys, this morning I am in beautiful North Vancouver, and this video is really going to talk about why self-love, why self-compassion are so important for us to really step into the fullness of who we are. So this is really exploring what does it mean to own all of ourselves. So there are a lot of modern pressures in our society. Um, there is a real sense of needing to succeed, a pressure to look a certain way, to have it all together, to have made it, to be successful, to have a lot of money, to be able to pull a life together that, we can go out into the world and show, hey, I've met all of these standards and I've met all of these criteria. And so, even though we might not have the same goals and dreams for ourselves, when we see it out in the world or when we grow up with that sense of pressure in our family, it can become really easy over time to internalize that and to really have a sense that that's what we need to live up to in life. Myself included, I can really relate to this a lot in my own experience. And so what happens is we can start to feel a real distance from where we think we should be to where we are right now. So this can really fuel a sense of inadequacy, of being really hard on ourselves, being really down about where we are, ignoring, the good things and what is going well in our lives because we haven't met an external expectation that we think we should be at. And so we can start to really dismiss where we are at, who we are, and what we're doing in favor of some fictional self or some fictional alternate reality that we want to be striving towards. And so in this quest to, being better, essentially, we can really easily start to cut off and disown really key parts of ourselves. So whatever we feel does not help us towards our goal of being who we are or how we want to be in the world, we can really easily dismiss that. So in my own story, for many, many years, I felt like it was so not okay for me to show vulnerability and so not okay for me to not have it all together. So for years, I tried really hard to appear confident, and I tried really hard to appear like I had it all together. And, if I was crying, especially if I was out and about, I would bite my tongue or, dig my nails into my hands and really try and put that inside of me, keep that inside of me, because I had a thought that I would be, that it was really shameful for me to show deep emotion and for me to admit to other people around me that I did not have everything together, that in fact, maybe at times I was totally falling apart and so did not have things together. And so I felt this real shame about, whenever I felt not okay, I felt really ashamed about that and kind of created an illusion that I had to be perfect, really. And yeah, I see that a lot, especially in young women, but I see that a lot in my own story, in my own past, even cropping up in my present from time to time, and in people around me, that we share this sense that it's not okay to be not okay. When in reality, this is the greatest and most true part of what it is to be human. So I carried on like this for a while until it became literally so painful to pretend like I was something other than I was, and the only choice that I had left was to really go deep inside of myself and to look at my fear, my insecurity, my shame, all of those really challenging emotions, and really start to explore, what are you saying to me? What message do you have for me? So, an analogy I like to use is, if someone were to lock you in a closet, you sure as heck would be banging on the closet door, trying to get out, really screaming for attention. And so this is what we can do to parts of ourselves, is we can say, you're not acceptable, or you don't fit how I want to be in my outside life. And so we can lock away parts of us that we feel might threaten how we want to be and how we want to show up in the world and be perceived by others. So the funny thing about this is that it can be what we feel really vulnerable about. So this can be our shadow self, what we really have difficulty with, challenges with, really strong, deep, hard emotions, fear, anger, sadness, insecurity. These can be the things that we push away. And it can also be our light side, so our brilliance, our incredible creativity, our enthusiasm, our zest for life. Sometimes what we hide is what is our light, what is our brilliance, and because we don't know how that will fit into our current reality. And so that can be threatening as well. So really what happens when we push away or suppress or ignore or deny parts of ourselves is we're really cutting off and ostracizing part of us, so that when we show up in life, it's with what we deem as appropriate for that situation or for that audience. And we lose so much power and fullness and authenticity of what we've left behind. So I know from personal experience and also from working with other people through this, that it can be really scary and very threatening to begin to go and look at those places in ourselves that, are really difficult, or that we haven't taken a full, close, clear look at it. And yet at the same time, I guarantee you it is so worth it to turn on the lights in our inner life and to really see what's there. Because an authentic way of being in the world has to begin with an authentic way of being with ourselves. And so that at least we know with honesty where we are with ourselves, so that when we show up and when we relate with other people, when we support and help other people, we're showing up with the fullness of who we are, with all of us. And this has made all of the difference in my life. So when we embrace all of who we are, we can begin to tap into the part of us that is actually connected in our entirety to everything else around us. We become connected to our divinity, to our innate dignity, to our potential for creativity, for creation, for bonding, for intimacy. And the route to that is through vulnerability and honesty, first with ourselves. When I first really took a very deep look at myself in this way, I remember weeping for hours on my bedroom floor because I woke up to the realization of how much harm I had been unknowingly causing myself through denying and suppressing parts of me. And I realized that the greatest loneliness in the world is to be disconnected to myself. So piece by piece, in the journey of reconnecting to ourselves, that is where we come in contact with our true gifts. When we're ignoring parts of ourselves, and we're also ignoring the source of the fullness of who we are, the source of the radiance of who we really are in this world. So I hope this video has really resonated and is an invitation to really take a look at what is it that is speaking to you right now. What is it that's trying to get your attention? And is there a way that you can create some more space in your inner life to really take a look at that? Because as each of us starts to claim who we really are and really stand in our fullness, that's when, as a society, we begin to really step forward and be that way for other people too. So there's that quote, and I'll do a paraphrase here, but it's the world needs more awake people, because that's what's going to awaken the world. We need more people who are standing in their full brilliance in all of who they are, the good and the bad, because those are just labels that we put on comfortable and uncomfortable, threatening and safe experiences. They aren't inherent labels that speak to a truth of what's going on in us. Own all of you means owning all of your gifts. So embrace yourself and start the journey right now. Thank you so much. I'd love for you to leave a comment if this has moved you, or to hear about your story about this. Please feel free to always be in touch. Thanks so much. Until next time.